What's up, YouTube? It's Joe Catchpalia sitting on the couch, making some money investing in fractional real estate online, as usual. I received my first dividends from ARK7, so I'm going to do I'm going to start doing portfolio updates for ARK7, similar to what I'm doing on Mogul. If you haven't been watching those, and just let you know how my performance is, what info they put out and whatnot. And so this is, I think, pretty interesting information as far as like what they put out. So this is their 2025 December portfolio and performance update. One of the things along with this is there was a limited time yesterday where I could invest, and they were basically saying invest on dividend day and get some additional bonus. I didn't find anything that I wanted to buy during that time. But that's one of the things that I think ARK7 is doing pretty well is creating all these little incentives to buy. They're doing the badges, so just sort of making you feel like, hey, I should do, they're sort of gamifying investing. But then like right now, if I finish, my first 10,000 in the next 8 days or something, I'll get another $250 bonus. So they're doing a lot of little bonuses, at different points in time, just like they do with share the link and somebody else can, get some money and you can get some money too. Like they're doing all these different things. And I think it's smart on their part. And I think if we take advantage of them while also being prudent in our decision making, then maybe, we can do pretty well here. But this is a good example of why I haven't been very interested in ARK7, right? This is as a total portfolio, their annualized dividend rate of return rate was only 3.64%. I'm going to show you mine on my portfolio in a little while. But that's that's pretty sad. It's a pretty low number. It's why, when I had kept going back to ARK7 versus Mogul or versus what I'm doing on Lofty even, it was much less interesting, right? Like they just have these relatively low dividend rates by comparison. And, I know we're not making an apples to apples comparison because these are actually dividends. It's not the cash flow from property like it is on Mogul or Lofty. I actually think that's worse because I think, depending on your situation, like for me, my tax treatment of these dividends is going to be worse than the tax treatment that I'm getting on the cash flow that I get from Mogul, for example. I don't even want to talk about what it's like on Lofty because I feel like they just give us trash tax forms, or at least they did last year. Hopefully they do better this year. Before I forget, please like and subscribe. In the description to this video, I have links to all the places where I'm currently investing in fractional real estate online. Please do your own due diligence on any of those platforms and any of the properties on those platforms. Just because I invest on some of them or I like some of them and I'm providing those links doesn't mean it's the right answer for you. In fact, some of them I think you probably shouldn't invest in. I mean, so you want to do your own due diligence on those, and also in the description of this video, I have a link to the Discord I have set up. There's over 200 of us in there now. We're talking about all different types of fractional real estate investing. So please feel free to join that and jump in this conversation. I am curious to hear about other people's ARK7 portfolios. What's your average yield? What does that look like? But yeah, so across their portfolio, 3.64%, pretty low. Their best property is 7.59%. That would be on the low end, of a lot of the ones that I own on Mogul, for example. So, but it's their absolute best one. So it's just interesting to keep that in mind. Now, these are I think all of them are long-term rentals. I could be mistaken about that. They might have some short-term rentals as well. I should know that, but I don't know. If you know, feel free to put that in the comments. Correct me on that. But yeah, so okay, they tell you the top ones, tell you how much total distributed. Like this matters at all, right? I mean, this is just kind of silly numbers. This I thought was interesting. You can see how the annualized dividend rate has fluctuated over time, and so it does seem like it's gone down a little bit this year. My guess is, as their portfolio starts to have some turnover, starts to have some more maintenance, Maybe that affected it. I don't know for sure what's going on there either. But then they show you their best performing property. Like, oh, if you just put all your money in the one right property, you'd be doing more than twice as well as you'd be doing by, having a diversified portfolio, at least from a yield perspective, right? And one of the things to keep in mind is on ARK7, they're really pushing this thought that they're investing in places where you should expect good appreciation. And I think in general, they're picking good markets for that. And, if you've followed my investments on the platform, I'm more trying to get forced appreciation basically by buying at a discount, right? And so that's been my strategy. But okay, they're telling you this is the overall portfolio occupancy rate, 94.8%. That's actually a really good occupancy rate, right? You can't get much higher than that without just having artificially low rents or something. So this is, somewhere in the mid 90s. That to me, that's a good indicator that their portfolio is healthy. I'd love to see if we could get that number on across Lofty's properties, what that looks like. And I'm sure it's nothing like that. Even all the long-term rentals now for Mogul, where they're short-term rentals primarily and pad splits, you're going to see much different occupancy rates. They're traditionally going to be lower than what you get for long-term rentals. They're telling you a little bit about the new leases and whatnot. And so one of the things that I thought was pretty interesting is I didn't get a ton of information about my properties that I own. So I'm going to go, still going through this. So these are all the ones that there was a new lease. This is the amount. This is when they start. It's interesting they tell you the start date, but not the end date. Maybe but it tells you a 12-month lease. So never mind. Or 24-month lease here. So never mind. You can figure that out, right? They're telling you about the vacancy that they have. And they do. Okay. So I was clearly wrong, right? They do have some short-term rentals. Wow. I wonder, do I own one of their short-term rentals and I didn't even realize it? I have to go back and look. Maybe not. But, they're telling you what those are as well. And then, they're telling you about, okay, hey, we have our trading growth, some big negative price changes. So that's kind of interesting. And this is what got me excited about it close to the end of last year, right? Is starting to see, hey, I can pick up some big discounts. And so this is my personal dividend report that they sent me. It just shows me, okay, these are my three properties. Okay, Alexandria C3. Okay, I know those were the Atlanta ones, I think, that were. Yeah, these were all short-term rentals. So I don't think any of these are. I think these are all long-term rentals that I have. It'd be really embarrassing if I bought a short-term rental and didn't realize it. But anyway, these are my three that I own already. I guess they all showed up there. But so, okay, my average yield is 4.5. So I am crushing ARK7's portfolio, right? Which makes sense because I bought these all at a discount. And so that yield is relative to my discounted purchase price. But, I'm not, this again, like if I compare this to the yield that I'm getting on Mogul, or like if I look at, compare it to ground floor, right? The interest that I'm earning on ground floor, like this is not very exciting. It is still, I'm expecting to do well on these because I bought them at a discount, right? So the yield is higher relative to their portfolio because I bought them at a discount. And so then, the yield versus my investment is, but what I'm really hoping and expecting is that when we sell these properties in real life, that's when I'm actually going to do well on these because they'll get that additional benefit of, I picked up equity when I purchased it, and when I sell it, that's going to be where a lot of my return comes from. Whether or not that's going to be the case, who knows? But I bought, like, even this Tampa one, right? I mean, this is a terrible yield, but I bought it at what I think is a really good discount to the real world value. And so when we do eventually sell this in real life, I think that I'll see a nice pop in my returns then. This is, and it's sort of similar to what I'm doing on Lofty, buying discounted tokens. The big difference being that we can't, on this one, at least not that I know of, I don't believe there's any way for us to propose the sale. I think that ARK7 will just, maybe they'll put out a vote at some point in time, but it'll be after a certain period of time where it's held. We don't have that same control that we have on Lofty, for good and for bad, right? I mean, I think that's really proven to be a double-edged sword on that platform where, we see some pretty terrible results from things that get proposed and voted on. But anyway, so I think that we're just basically holding these through the expected cycle, and then I don't know if the company decides. I mean, this is all stuff I should probably know this, but I'm very new to the platform, right? This is this my total? No, I don't know what they're telling me there. But my whole portfolio. Oh, I can just click here, right? My whole portfolio is only this is all right. $1,100, right? I have just these 3 properties. The Florida one, I only have the ones. Is that right? Yeah, I mean but 2 of these, right? I have very, very small investments in, and it's just a matter of when I see the discounted tokens, and I'm going to pick up more. I don't know that I'm going to try to rush to get to that 10,000 point to get the extra $250. It's probably not worth it. But if I can pick up good enough discounts, I probably will. I really wish I hadn't missed the, how much there were some huge discounts at the end of last year, probably related to people, trying to, realize their losses for tax purposes. That's speculation, but that's what it seems like. So, I don't expect to get another 50% discount on anything this month. But anyway, that's it. That's the update on my portfolio on here on my first month of dividends. I'm going to give you this update on a monthly basis, or I think we get these dividends monthly on here. Or as often as they give it to me, I'll share how it's going. And we'll see if this is, if I'm able to continually beat their average, which it seems like that should be a no-brainer as long as we just keep buying discounts. Although, obviously this Tampa one is a below average one, but anyway, that is it. You can tell it's 9 a.m., but I haven't actually gone to bed yet, so I'm a little bit loopy. I'm going to just be done with it now. If you've been investing on ARK7, let me know how you're doing. What's your average relative to the annualized? And until next time, I'm going to just keep making mistakes so that you don't have to.